Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Beyond Wisdom, aka Flawed Excuses from Twitter, also known as Beyond Broken 78 from PlayStation. So, if anybody wants to hit me up on Twitter or on PlayStation, you got me as a friend. I play on all systems, but this is a story for another day. There's been a lot of things that have been going on Twitter lately about studies or fake studies or half-assed studies claiming that video games cause violence in some form, or there's some link to violent video games and aggression in some form. Well, there is a USA Today Tech article. It was written by Mike Snyder, and it was published on October 1st, 2018 from their USA Today website. This is a link to from a Twitter handle from a person who was stating that video games cause violence across the board. It's always an old adage, blanket statement that games in general, doesn't matter how violent they are or their context, create violence in people, especially when it comes to fights in school. You can search online on Twitter to find the link. At the moment I am kind of busy, but that's beside the point. I made this video because I'm so sick and tired of people using inane excuses for violence in video games, but I digress. I'm going to go back to the study, and I'm going to read this, and leave your comments at the end of the video, or in the comments below. If you need any more information, I'll look up the information for you. I'm just too lazy to add links. I'll just be blatantly blunt with that. So, anyways, back to the article. The article, again, is from Mike Snyder, USA Today. It is published on October 1st, 2018, and it starts as follows. The latest in the long-standing debate over violent video games. They do cause players to become more physically aggressive. An international study looking at more than 17,000 adolescents ages 9 through 19 in 2010 and 2017 found playing violent video games led to increased physical aggression over time. The analysis of 24 studies from countries including the US, Canada, Germany, and Japan found those who played violent video games such as Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, and Manhunt were more likely to exhibit behavior such as being sent to the principal's office for fighting or hitting a non-family member. Although no single research project is definitive, our research aims to provide the most current and compelling responses to key criticisms on the topic, said Jay Hull, who is the lead author of the study, published Monday in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Based on our findings, we feel it is clear that violent video game play is associated with subsequent increases in physical aggression, said Hull, Associate Dean of Facility for the Social Sciences of Dartmouth College in Hanover, New Hampshire, and Dartmouth Professor of Psychological and Brain Sciences. Video game violence has been a hot button topic for well over a decade. Interest in research on video games' potential for violence increased after it was learned that Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, the two teenagers who committed Columbine high school shooting back in 1999, played the first-person shooter video game Doom. But in 2011, Supreme Court decision overturning California's ban on the sale of violent video games to minors. The late Justice Scalia dismissed the link between the games and the aggression. These studies have been rejected by every court to consider them, and with good reason. They do not prove that violent video games cause minors to act aggressively. He wrote this in the majority opinion. Since then, the American Psychological Association Task Force report in 2015 found a link between violent video games and increased aggression in players, but insufficient evidence that violent video games led to criminal violence. Earlier this year, President Donald Trump convened a video game summit a month after the February shooting that killed 17 people in Parkland, Florida. Prior to that meeting, Trump said, "I'm hearing more and more people say the level of violence on video games is really shaping young people's thoughts." Dartmouth researchers sought to reduce the confusion about research findings, including disputes about the association between violence and aggression, with a finely structured meta-analysis. Their conclusion is as follows. The effect is relatively small, but statistically reliable. The effect does exist. While there is no research suggesting video game violence leads to criminal behavior, Hull's research suggests players may practice riskier behavior such as reckless driving, binge drinking, smoking, and unsafe sex. A lot of people ask, do these games really cause these kids to behave aggressively? I would say that is one possibility. The other possibility is that it's a really bad sign. If your kids are playing these games, either these games are having a warping effect on right or wrong, or they have a warped sense of right or wrong, and that's why they were affecting these games in the first place. On the research paper, Hole and co-authors say they hope the findings will help research move past the question of whether violent video games increase aggressive behavior and towards questions regarding why, when, and for whom they have such effects. Okay, when it comes to the final end of this statement, at least he's not being a complete jerk about, yes, this blatantly does this and that. It will cause violence. Everything causes violence. I showcased in this clip that you're watching several different variations of videos or video games, and I've played all 3 of these games and I've had no intentions of causing violence towards anybody. But again, leave a comment, subscribe, and let's talk about this. Thanks again for stopping in. Gun Wisdom out.